Third world Muslim men. Third world Muslim men of third world Muslim men. Third world Muslim men of third world Muslim men. Third world Muslims. Mass third world immigration by 8 African immigrants, all immigrant criminals. Immigrant criminals, darker Arabs or Africans, to third world Muslim rapists, world Muslim men, immigrant rapist. But if a Swedish news editor happened to be gang raped by Muslim immigrants, it would be hard not to laugh.
So, I want to make this public, but I pretty much already did. I knew Trump was going to win like a year ago. Remember I told you that?
You did, actually. I was, as the results were coming in, I was thinking to myself, Matt told me, and I didn't believe him. I thought he was talking shit. There you go. Yeah, you were spot on, though. Unfortunately,
yeah.
If you had been wrong, fucking hell.
The day after the election happened, I was like, oh my god, the next G8 summit is going to be amazing to watch.
Well, the next 4 years is going to be amazing to watch. I mean, as with so much of what we do here on the internet, me and yourself,
yeah,
taking on the kind of the right, whenever they gain any semblance of power or, you know, subscribers or office or whatever, the one solace we can take from it is knowing that we're going to have plenty of material to work with.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, it's dare I say, quite selfish in a way, but fuck it. I've got to try and find the silver lining here, and it's going to provide me with plenty of material.
This week, SNL is going to be off the hinges, because Dave Chappelle is hosting it. That is going to be amazing.
Yeah, and not just that, but Alec Baldwin has given himself 4 years worth of work.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, he's got that fucking job nailed down.
I kind of narrowed it down to the, I knew kind of the alt-right was going to be a thing internationally when Charlie Hebdo happened. True,
but I think it's worth bearing in mind that I don't think the alt-right are as big an influence in the Trump thing as people suggest. It's mainly disaffected white people, which I know technically could describe the alt-right as well, but the disaffected white people who aren't racist scum. That would be the difference there, you know. So the alt-right, for all the boasting of the alt-right within the last few days, obviously, and that's understandable to an extent because they won, but the rowing back that Trump's doing, and the fact that they weren't actually a big part of his success anyway, I would suggest should keep them in check, because they're not actually that big an influence.
Yep.
For all the ultra-rightist nonsense that Trump has spouted, I think he's far more of a status quo candidate than I think anyone would like to admit. But it's true.
Yeah.
Look at the way he's rowing back on everything. He's even hinted that he might keep Obamacare.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. That was a central part of his thing. You know.
He said today in 60 Minutes, not their late night, but they have a different show with the same person who hosts 60 Minutes. I can't remember his name. Trump literally said, "I don't give a shit about what bathroom trans people use. Like as long as they're happy, I don't give a shit what bathroom they use." It's like you can see it for yourself if you Google it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, again, with all this spouting rhetoric about Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
If you look at the first 70 years of the man's fucking life, the first 7 decades of his experience here on Earth, suggests to me he's rather not pro-abortion, but he's pro-choice. And that's not going to suddenly change. And you couldn't just repeal Roe versus Wade.
No.
Because it's a fucking Supreme Court decision. So you'd need to pass a new law.
Which I found really, I was thinking about it a lot all the skeptical quote-unquote community, went around promoting Trump and all this shit, and promoted the message of Charlie Hebdo, whatever. You do realize Charlie Hebdo describes himself as a communist magazine, and
I mean, I know it's a long time ago now, but I think it's worth always reiterating the nonsense of the very same people who were going "Just Sweet Charlie."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
people to clamp down on press freedom. And
what brings me to my next point, I want to address that. In the last month, I've watched every single Thunderfoot video. But not from first to recent. I watched from most recent to first to see how he devolved.
Oh, okay.
And watching it, there's one video I think I keyed onto his breaking point, which you're going to watch later, because it's really telling. Which is also even funnier to the aspect of, Thunderfoot, in his most recent video, for pushing for the last 2 years right-wing rhetoric, is now jumping, I'm a liberal, but a liberal, pro-Obama rhetoric now, and they're like...
I haven't seen his new video, but it doesn't surprise me. One of the predictions I made, I didn't really say it aloud as such, because it wasn't really relevant, but one of the predictions I've made is that a lot of these people on the internet are contrarians, and not even good contrarians for like a worthwhile purpose. They're just people who want to appear like in a kind of 12-year-old I'm a rebel way. Want to appear to anti whoever's in power. So now the right have ascended to power. They're gonna you'll see, and I think actually not to plug myself too much, of course, but the chat I did with Sargon last night, in fact, just the 24 hours ago precisely, was. I think you saw bits of the leftness that Sargon thinks he has generally coming back into focus because the right have taken power, and these people thrive on being I'm a rebel, I'm against whoever's in charge.
Here we go. So this is backstory. This is when watching Thunderfoot in reverse is when he had his breaking point of like sliding backwards.
Oh yes, I remember this one. Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting to examine because this is right after the point when Gamergate started, and when he started pushing his anti-education shit while claiming to be a professor of higher knowledge.
Indeed.
So let's begin.
I dropped out of school because my schooling was interfering with my education. It is clear to the world that something just isn't working with institutional education, and most people say that this means we need to change institutional education. But to the educators of the world, I am here today to say that I disagree. You don't need to change anything. You simply need to understand that the world is changing, and if you don't change with it, the world will decide that it doesn't need you anymore. Until next time, I am Dan Brown.
When I first watched this, that bit at the beginning, you think to yourself, well, hang on, you're saying they don't need to change, and then saying they do need to change because the world is changing. Yeah. That's really ridiculous. But
I know.
Anyway,
Dan, I have a reputation for being a particularly humorless bastard when it comes to people bad-mouthing science, knowledge, and education.
Which Thunderfoot has done himself the past 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, he's done very little but social science denialism. But there you go.
Such, when someone like yourself gets up in front of their 200 or so thousand subscribers and says, I dropped out of school because my schooling was interfering with my education. You damn straight.
I actually remember Thunderfoot promoting Sargon's petition for social justice classes to be... You know what I'm talking about, the whole...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I remember the petition, yeah, but I didn't know he'd promoted it, but I mean, it doesn't massively surprise me.
But, like, so the guy's promoting, in this video at the time, is promoting education, but yet, Thunderfoot still claims to promote education, but yet, education he thinks is under right think, quote unquote. No, I don't mean, like, right-wing thing, I meant, like, what you think is right...
Is it Orwellian concept? Or
yeah, it's the Orwellian concept. There's unthink and right thing, and then there's double think. There's like three. It's
unthink. Oh, okay.
That's in the later, and that's like more towards the end of the book. They talk about unthink.
Yeah. I haven't read it for years, so I can't.
Now let me ask
a
question, Dan. Why is it? Why do you think it is that so few times that society looked to the college dropout for visionary insight?
I love the sorry, can you just...
Yeah.
I love the nonsense. He starts off with, I can be a particularly humorless bastard, as he stalks towards the camera. You think, who's buying this internet hard man shit? What the fuck? Anyway, yeah.
As to ways we can make things better in the future, say, for instance, with the education system. Why do you think that is? Well, let me see if I can actually help you out a bit here and I want you to do this by contrasting the view...
You know, I don't want to sound like an ad hominem, but, like, really, when I'm watching Thunderfoot's videos for the past, like, month and a half, I've come to the conclusion he has the tone of, like, someone who's taken a lot of tranquilizers, like the drones.
Not the world, yeah. I know what you mean, but...
Yeah, I know, I'm not saying he did, I'm saying he has that effect.
Yeah.
Someone who didn't drop out of college, say, for instance, like myself, with the way that you view the problem. Someone who did drop out of college.
I love the fact that this is, like, Atlas Shrugged. Like, he has, like, this, like, his, like, libertarianism showing, like, he's, like, holding the globe over his shoulders in a weird way, like...
Yeah, I know, it is weird, yeah.
But let's start on a point of universal agreement. like this.
To succeed as a planet in the 21st century, a strong education for every human being isn't just important, it is essential.
Bravo, Dan. Couldn't agree with you more. But you see, for an argument to be convincing, for an argument to be compelling...
I like the fact that he was criticising the other dude for being pretentious a second ago.
Yeah, he was. Love it.
So hypocritical.
Yeah, I know. At so many levels. Hypocrisy poisons everything. And I mean everything.
Yeah.
Cohesive. It must contain concise concepts. It must not contain diametrically opposed, internally inconsistent components. Like this.
But to the educators of the world,
that was like some David Brent shit.
I know. You say it was like David Serini, right? Like the hand gestures? Like...
No, David Brent, the Ricky Gervais boss from The Office.
No, talking about, yeah. I was also thinking David Serini when he, like, subconsciously, like...
well, there's an element of that, yeah.
Day to say that I disagree. You don't need to change anything. You simply need to understand that the world is changing, and if you don't change with it, the world will decide that it doesn't need you anymore.
Dan, Proposition 1. Education is the most important thing in the world. There's no possible way we could live without it. Dan, Proposition 2. If the educators don't do what I want, we can live without them. The world doesn't need them. Now, are you starting to see, Dan, why we don't look to college dropouts for visionary insight?
Okay. This is, like, okay, I get where he's going with this, but Thunderfoot, it's been ridiculed by so many academic professors and scholars. Why would people listen to this man, like knowing what they're getting into, at this point?
In the way to run society in the future. But let's move on.
Let me speak from my own experience. I was a student at the University of Nebraska, and most of my classes went something like this. On the first day, I'd show up, and there would be a lecture hall full of 40 to 200 kids, and just one professor. Professors rarely made an effort to learn anyone's names, and almost never encouraged any sort of interaction amongst the students.
Oh, did Dan go to university on the assumption that it was expensive daycare, instead of, say, for instance, a centre of learning? And that's the way that it works at universities. One lecturer, lots of students, such that one lecturer can teach lots of students. He's not there to organise your social calendar. And really, if having someone learn your name is that important to you, get a parrot.
So bad.
It's a good line, though.
It is. Oh, what's it?
Dan, I get it. You've got some sort of beef with the university education system.
So does Phil. So does Thunderfoot. He does himself. He admits it too. So, like...
You think through some mechanism that you don't describe, it's going to be improved somehow in the future. Well, in order to understand how you can improve things in the future, you must first of all understand how they work in the present. Well, universities serve three roles. One, they do research. They discover the unknown. Right? Two, they educate people to discover the unknown. This is the next generation of research scientists. These are the PhDs. Right? And then they educate people to an undergraduate level, and these are people who then go out into industry and into society and perform the skilled jobs. Right? So these are whatever, the chemists, civil engineers, chemical engineers, biochemists, and so on. These are people who are needed by industry. That's what's driving it. Now let's compare what universities actually do to what Dan thinks they do.
Classes would drag on for an hour, and all they would consist of was the professor in the front with a PowerPoint telling us facts. We'd frantically scribble down those facts. Test time would come around, and we would memorize our scribblings. We'd take the test, and we would receive a grade based on how many facts we memorized. But society no longer cares how many facts we can memorize, because in the information age, facts are free.
And this is why you're a moron, Dan. This is an undergraduate physics textbook. Most people who get an undergraduate degree in physics will have a reasonable knowledge of what's in a book like this. Yet I can give you access to all of the information in this book. You can have access to the internet. All of the facts that you want, you can have access to. And I can give the undergraduate physics problem, and I can give you a physics problem. they'll be able to solve it in about 15 minutes. I would be surprised if you can solve it in 15 months. Right? Just having a physics textbook doesn't make you a physicist. It is your knowledge of what's in the book and your ability to apply that knowledge that makes you useful to society.
Okay. Tangentially, Thunderfoot is claiming what makes you useful for society. I really want to wonder, does his, I guess, what Thunderfoot always claims about, promoting free speech is helpful for society, but the way he does is so crass.
Yeah.
Anything to add on?
Did you say free speech there?
What?
Did you say free speech there?
Yeah. He's the way how Thunderfoot, advocates himself right now, he's advocating to Dan Brown, the development of the future and the activities of knowledge. So I'm saying Thunderfoot always crowns himself on the achievement of free speech, quote unquote, and anti-censorship of the internet. Yeah, the guy does it in such a fucking crass way. Does it actually help the cause or hurt it?
Oh yeah, okay, I'm with you.
The idea that, well, facts are free, you can get them on Google, is bollocks. If you don't believe me, you try and get a job as, say, a civil engineer and say, well, I don't know anything about physics or structural mechanics or anything, but I know I can get the information somewhere on Google. See how far that gets you. Or even better, try getting a job as a medical doctor. You know, I don't know anything about operations or cutting people open or diagnosing things or anything like that, but the information is available online. Therefore, the facts are free.
Which Thunderfoot presents information and facts online all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see why I've got very fascinated by this video when I for reason I picked it, right?
Yeah.
It could be a job. It's bollocks, Dan. You know it.
Any educational institution based solely on providing students with facts is not preparing students for the real world.
Yeah, but Dan, the only place that universities like that exist is in your mind. And if you'd have stuck around long enough at university instead of dropping out, you might have actually realised that.
See, in the noble quest to provide education to the masses, we have lost sight of what education really is.
No, we have not.
I would say borderline half-truth, but to that, coming from Dan Brown.
No, well, I don't know. I'm not sure I agree massively with it. But it's like you say, with Thunderfoot, it's, even though he might have a point, is he doing it in a way that's actually helping or hindering?
Yeah.
Side of what education is. It's just that you never had a clear concept of what it was in the first place. I hope that now you're a little clearer on why we don't look to the college dropout, to the guy who says, I dropped out of school because it was getting in the way of my education, to the guy who doesn't even have a clear idea of what education is, why we don't look to people like this for suggestions of how we could improve the education system.
Coming from Thunderfoot, very, very, tall orders, let me just say.
Yeah, I know. It's he. Look, it's. I mean, it's to reiterate the point we just made. About, even though he may have some good points, and I think in this video he does have some good points.
Yeah, he does.
The way he does it is not an improvement either. So I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Future.
But society no longer cares how many facts we can memorize, because in the information age, facts are free.
Okay, for the next video I have planned, it's a little more humorous. Russell Brand got into a beefing match for the last 2 weeks of Mario the Vigilant Christian.
Wow.
It's the dream.
On how to handle international relations, and obviously you're not going to get it from either of those people, and I'm not doing an Illuminati thing. I'm just try and point at both of them simultaneously before you say, aha, the devil horns, the 33.
Russell Brand. He is a controlled agent used by the elite to lead us astray.
This man sitting in a room looking at a computer.
Is there anyone? The thing about Mario the Vigilant Christian is you can watch any of his videos and you know whoever he's talking about is a controlled agent of the fucking Illuminati lizard people.
Exactly. I really want to see the day when Alex Jones and him do a collaboration.
Well, I can't wait for the day where Alex Jones realises he's backed the establishment, dude.
I know. I know.
He works for the Illuminati.
Shit! Hey Russell, it's the Vigilant Christian Mario, and I wanted to go ahead and respond to you about the fact that you just included me in your recent video because of the accusation I made that you're an agent of chaos working with the Rothschilds to bring about a global...
This really happened. Russell Brand did make a reply video to Mario the Vigilant Christian, but deleted it after a few hours. I don't know why, he just did.
Oh, okay, that's really interesting. Well, so Mario mentioned him, which made him reply,
yes.
Which made Mario reply. Brilliant.
Yeah.
System. I wanted first of all to tell you that not everyone is deceived. Many of us know exactly what you're up to. That you're being used by Satan, you don't know this though because he's deceived you, through his little minions, the Rothschilds, the elite, the globalist, the rich and wealthy, to bring about the Antichrist kingdom. In fact, the Bible talks about that, okay? What you're doing is all in here. It's all prophecy. And one day you're going to stand before God Almighty, and you're going to have to give an account for what you're doing.
I fucking love it. Like, he's calling Russell Brand the devil. Because have you seen those memes comparing Russell Brand to Christ or Jesus? It's like,
oh, God, yeah. There was a certain sort of person on the left that quite likes Russell Brand.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure why, but...
Yeah, that's what's funny about this shit. Like, the level of paranoia coming from both ends of the spectrum of the video replies.
Yeah, it's... Well, like I say, like, this is the meeting of incredible minds, let's say.
Yeah.
There is a divine God who has...
Mario turned into a Muslim for a split second.
Yeah, I was about to say, it was a bit of Allahu Akbar, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Justice. Divine justice that he will serve on Judgment Day. And you will stand in front of him. So I wanted to make a response video here to reach out to you in love. That you would repent. Please, stop this. I know they've brainwashed you and conditioned you to make you think that this is a good and a positive thing, but it's really not. What you're doing is you're prophetically bringing about this, okay? The end of days.
I'm pretty sure Trump has did that already himself. You know what I mean, too, like...
In the book of Revelation, and you're not on the winning...
Oh my god, have you ever... Kevin, have you ever read...
I'm not sure.
Sorry?
I'm not sure I do know what you mean. I'm not sure I do know what you mean by Trump there. What are you referring to, sorry?
In, like, the last few pages of Revelation says the end times would come when a man rises in a golden chariot from the east, whatever. A lot of people are conflating this, like, before, like, there's, like, a god, a king who's, like, worships a god, opens the skies up, and, like, the, 4 horsemen come riding down. So people are on the internet comparing Trump to the emperor, and they're saying the 4 horsemen are basically nuclear bombs about to go off.
Oh, God. People have been saying this for so long. Ridiculous.
Which I even love it more because I've read Revelations for the fun. Like, last year I read Revelations in audio tape. What a fucking acid trip it is.
Yeah, oh, it's mental, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, even for the Bible standards, it's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You're on the losing team. Satan, who is the one that you're really in league with and you don't even realize, is already defeated. Jesus Christ has already won the victory. And he's coming back one day, and you need to make things right with him. So what I'm going to do for the remainder of this video here is expose who you truly are to the YouTube audience. I think it's important that everyone knows and, we shine light on what you're doing. And I want you to sit back and think about this. You're being exposed. You think, you took your little secret oath, you joined your little secret society, and you think you guys are getting away with this stuff? You're not. God is showing people. And
hang on, whoa. He's contradicting himself.
Yeah,
he said,
yeah.
You're in league with the devil, but you don't realise it.
Yeah.
And now he's saying he's willfully, knowingly joined some devil thing.
Yeah, Mario's the amount of like gymnastics these people do on the Illuminati Christian libtard shit is like they go. It's just the mental gymnastics. It's unbearable how many contradictions they have.
Oh yeah.
More than that, God himself knows exactly what you're doing. And one day you're going to stand before him. And I just pray that you take this seriously and you stop being an agent of chaos. Jesus died on a cross so that you would not have to pay for the penalty of your sins. And even worse, you're not just a normal lost sinner. You're literally someone who has joined leagues with the devil and his minions. You dated a Rothschild, so you got into the...
No, he didn't. That I googled that. That never happened.
I hadn't heard about that. And I like to keep in track of the right-wing conspiracy nonsense.
No, that is the thing. No, okay, so the conspiracy behind that...
I know he was married to Katy Perry.
Yeah, I know, yeah. No, but the Rothschild thing, there's been some photoshopped, quote-unquote, evidence. They're faked photos. It's like...
Well, and also, it doesn't matter, even if it wasn't faked. Ultimately, so what? He dated someone called...
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying... Yeah, I know. I'm saying the photos themselves were faked. I've looked it up. Yeah. So...
It's ridiculous. Well, Rothschild, obviously, is often used as... And I'm not saying Mario's necessarily saying it in this way, but he's often used for, code for Jews.
Yeah, the Jewish question, Irini. There was no
the Jewish mafia or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's... I will say one thing. Irini's video of a Jewish question is most... For the alt-right, it's weird. Like, apparently that video pissed off the alt-right, like, in general, when it happened.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Because they said Irini was buying into, like, leftist propaganda, like, he was spouting, like, anti-Semitic rules, like, he said his video was, like, they said in the comment section, a lot of them saying that Irini's video, The Jewish Question, was basically, like, spouting Soviet propaganda, which is, like, okay, like... What? And then, like...
But they're really anti-Semitic, so I don't understand why the alt-right would be angry with that, because it seems...
I don't know the full extent, but they said that he was, like taking the side of, like Stalin in his video, whatever, like, I don't know.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
The alt-right, the mental gymnastics these people put, it's just amazing, and they always astound me what they pull off their ass.
What was that, sorry?
Oh, I'm saying the mental gymnastics the alt-right and evangelical Christians do, and pulling out of their ass, always astounds me. Is like, you know what I mean, like...
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like with Polly Lamb censoring his own website with that video he deleted.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. The one speech from the ICMI, the International Conference on Men's Issues, that he didn't like was the one that didn't appear in the in the collection on his channel. And, I forget what the channel it was put up on, but yeah.
And they've been promoting you, giving you fame and fortune, and now you're acting as a shill, an agent, to bring about this New World Order system, okay? And you ain't fooling everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and expose you, and I just want you to recognize that God loves you, and he wants to save you, Russell. Okay, the New Age movement, this higher consciousness shift, the yoga and the meditation. Okay, first of all, you see that? That's a lotus flower, and it says the word yoga. I was so heavily involved into that nonsense, it's ridiculous. For 7 years, I transcended consciousness and elevated myself to connect with the entire universe, and I adopted this pantheistic worldview that you've now been deceived with. And I would just urge you to analyze your spirituality. It is false. In fact, it is Satan that is behind the spiritual system that you have. And God is sending me to...
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
The problem he has with him is that he's not he's doing spirituality right.
Yeah.
Basically. He's got the New Age woo-woo thing going on.
Whoa, yeah.
Which sort of has too, to be honest.
Mario,
Mario sort of has the New Age shit going on as well to a degree, Because you think to yourself, well, he's not doing kind of, when I say orthodox, I don't mean literally like Russian or Greek Orthodox. I mean, they're not doing sort of straightforward, normal Christianity either, is it?
Yeah.
There's
a lot of overlap between
matrix shit, you know.
There's a lot of overlap between the spirit science people and this crap.
Yeah. I still can't believe spirit science. It's so obviously just making everything up.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many followers. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and get in the video. I'm going to go and expose you. God's literally going to use me right now to shine light on what you're doing. And
do you mind if I fast forward to the point where he starts like showing his actual videos in here?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Here we go.
In Jesus' name. Now, the first thing to identify here is if you go to his YouTube channel, you'll notice this. True World Order. Okay? This is important to see because they love to hide the truth in plain sight. This is a YouTube channel.
I love the fact that, like out of all the thumbnails, this is the one that sees it the most. Here is Johnny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Been designed in order to propagate the New World Order, but it's done in a way that many people won't even recognize. This individual, as I've stated, is a disinformation agent. He pretends to be against the system when in fact he is completely part of it. And how do we know that? Well, his associations. Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm the emperor of the Rothschild banking dynasty. My family is worth over, well, 1 trillion. Who knows how much they hide, how much money they're worth. Money we have stolen via usury. And
okay, this is the photo I was talking about. They were never dating. They were never married. This photo happened, but it's taken out of context. It was not at a charity event or a party. It was at a sporting event.
Wait, no, I don't... But Russell Brand's in the background of it, so even as a Photoshop, that doesn't work, because it doesn't even show that they're together.
No, but there are other photos...
It just happens to be in the background.
No, I'm talking about the other photo, on the side.
Oh, on the right, sorry, I thought... Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no, so that's... I was looking at the yellow circle on the
left.
Yeah,
this one photo sparked a reaction of making other fake other fake photos of the two of them together.
Yeah, it's Mario who put the yellow circle up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's his usual thing. Yeah, okay, so the picture on the right, yes, okay, right.
Yeah.
So that's Photoshop, you say?
No, that photo happened, but the other one, this photo itself inspired, like, other fake ones, putting the two of them together.
Oh, right, so the one with the yellow circle isn't Photoshopped?
No, these are...
Oh, okay. Right.
This one is. Where the mouse
But
is.
the one on the right is, yeah.
Yeah, that one is Photoshopped.
Okay.
Down the lineage, and, well, hi, I'm Gemina. Zach is my brother, and they're all related. I'm the editor of the new...
What?
I think he might have meant Jemima rather than Jemima.
Yeah.
Statesman, a magazine created by the Fabian Society. Hi, I'm Russell. Gemina is my girlfriend. So he ended up going out with a Rothschild, letting himself into the...
That happened once. I looked a lot into this for this video. It happened once. And he blew it out of proportion.
Secret Society.
Yeah. So they were at the same event, the ssame sporting event once, and was enough, apparently.
Yeah.
Also, isn't she Jemima Khan?
What?
She's married, isn't she Jemima Khan?
Yeah, but she's
a Muslim guy or something.
I think she is. I'm not sure, but I think I remember seeing articles about it, like in gossip magazines.
Yeah. Okay.
He's promoting the number 33. And for those of you who don't know, it's an occult secret number, okay? It's not a surprise that he has it tattooed on his hand, as I've shown you right here. Okay, and he even goes and states it himself. Okay, why do you have the number 33, Russell, on your hand? If you're not an occultist who's into ancient knowledge that is given to you when you join yourself to these elitists, this network of secret societies, the rich globalist bringing about the Antichrist kingdom. Makes no coherent sense. But we know what you're up to, Russell.
Has anyone asked Russell Brand why he has that tattoo? Or are they just going to make up whatever the fuck they like?
People have always asked him. He said, oh, I just got it as a joke. Like that's on record, but I don't know. He always says it was a joke to piss people off.
Okay.
It's kind of like... Doesn't Coughlin also have a similar tattoo of like 666 on his arm?
Yeah, but he has sick.
Yeah.
Like the misspelling thing.
Yeah.
On his arm.
Yeah, so I think...
But that's not even the number. If you do it properly, the number is 616, the actual number of the devil,
there's a lot of because in Revelations the number keeps coming up in different texts, and so I really don't buy into any of his crap. But like in certain parts of Revelation say 666, in important parts say 33, other parts say it's 13. So it varies. Well, like it's.
Alright, so there you go. And you can see him here giving a Masonic handshake to the Queen, and we know the Queen is also part of this, and he is sold out to them. Alright, so be on guard, be vigilant. This is disinformation here, and New World Order propaganda. And I'll go through some other things here. He was Katy Perry's handler. For those of you who understand MK Ultra and the mind control program that's administered by these satanic cabals, you'll know that...
There's a really funny part here. I'm skipping the Katy Perry crap.
Yeah. Also, that's a little bollocks, isn't it? The Katy Perry's handler. What are you talking about?
This is the part I want to get to.
World Order New Age religion. He had this, the Messiah complex, where he talks about being a god. His spiritual belief system...
Mario, you claimed Donald Trump was your god in 2 videos recently, so like...
Did he? Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And you realise that idolatry is like a sin punishable by eternity in hell, man.
I know, it's like, ugh. These people are fucking clueless.
Divine godhood.
Didn't Jesus say that, or God say that you should have no other gods before him? I mean, he literally carved it in stone.
Moses,
which suggests to me that's a final text, so that's not an option, Mario.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly what the globalists want you to believe. This is part of their spirituality. They're Luciferian. They believe that through gnosis, through knowledge, they can acquire an enlightened state of consciousness, which, in essence...
Oh my god, I can't, this is making my head hurt. I can't believe I watched this like 3 times in the last week.
Oh, why have you watched it that many times?
These are some really key moments of insane laughter, but like I'm waiting for it. It's like more towards the end.
From this wicked cabal, and join the Lord Jesus Christ, who is calling you to come out of this. One day you will face him for what you're doing. And it's a serious, serious matter. You're literally working for Satan to bring about the Antichrist kingdom. Now, of course, you're deceived. You think this is good. In this elite little group, this mystery school that you're a part of...
I really can't. We're going to still be doing this monthly, but it's not going to be monthly. It's going to be like bi-monthly because I just cannot tolerate it. Because from this point on, the amount of shit they're just going to be spewing and repeating is going to be all the same thing ad nauseum for the next 4 years. So we're just going to be doing this, but once in the blue moon. These watching shit.
Sometimes it will be maybe once a month, like 1 month, and then the next month, and then maybe a little gap, or maybe once every couple of months or whatever. Yeah, something like that.
And
but we'll still be doing something. Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be weaning off of YouTube, but I'm still going to be uploading, but not as much, because I just cannot be bothered with, like, the amount of alt-right garbage that's going to be produced. And I'm going to kind of, like, leave off with some video, Libertarian Socialist Rants made a clip he made about a year ago. I think it's important, everyone should just see. And that's it, everyone.
But this society is not about providing for everyone. It's about delivering profit to an elite minority. In the case of workfare, this is done by providing a free supply of slave labour, often to highly profitable corporations. In this case, dodgy, homophobic so-called charities like the Starvation Army. We are here today to voice our opposition and to take action, and the message is clear, and that is, if you exploit us, we will shut you down. Workfare is just one example of the ongoing war on the poor being waged by the rich and the government representatives. If you're in work, you get paid shy wages for long hours in poor conditions. If you're unemployed, you'll get your benefits cut and sent on workfare schemes as the job centres race to sanction as many people as possible. If you're disabled, you'll be humiliated in work capability assessments. If you're in social housing, you'll get your benefits cut. If you're renting privately, you'll face extortionate rents and needless evictions. If you don't have a place to live, you'll be criminalised for squatting in empty residential housing. Welcome to neoliberal Britain, where it's a crime to be working class.
Do you think it's legal not to pay folk the minimum wage? Is that legal? Whose side are you on? You're on the side of the bosses, aren't you? You're a lackey. Why don't you think for yourself for a change? Think about what's right. They'll be bringing in G4S to do your job.
With continuous, unified, coordinated action, we can consign these awful workfare schemes to the dustbin of history and build an own society that actually meets human needs. We do not need to be patronised by politicians in the Labour Party, the SNP or the Green Party. We know exactly what we need to do. Agitate, educate, organise.
One solution!
Evolution!
One solution!